I'm Kelly James Barker. You're watching Spotlight on the Ozarks. Today my guest is Frank Howell. Frank Howell is a very interesting character here from the Ozarks, and he's done a lot of things on TV, done some stuff in Branson. So don't go away. Come back and watch the interview today with Frank Howell right here on Spotlight on the Ozarks.
Hello, friends. Have you ever longed for that taste and feel of yesterday? Well, if you find yourself around the Carthage, Missouri area, look no further, because the Circle E Country Market is the place for you, with fresh homemade sandwiches. Fresh because they bake their own bread right there. Also send you home with fresh deli meats and cheeses from the deli counter. You'll also find something for the kids anytime. You can sit outside and enjoy a sandwich and a drink, and you never know when Chickerly and the Critter Cousins might be outside right there picking a tune. There's fresh cookies as well that'll help your sweet tooth right along. So visit Sean and the friendly folks at the Circle E Country Market for a taste of yesterday.
And we're back on Spotlight on the Ozarks with Frank Howell. Good to have you on here today.
Thank you.
I was telling the people about, you've done stuff on television and everything, and you want to share with them what you do?
Well, it was on a TV show called Kelly's Country Junction. We did 6 seasons, a lot of long hours for just a 30-minute show.
Yeah, they wanted us to do hour, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Like an hour is all we could do 30 minutes. Oh, yeah. Actually, it was 24 minutes on commercial TV and on Ozarks Public TV, and RSU there in Oklahoma, 28 and a half minutes.
Right. So, yeah, no commercials.
No commercials.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun trying to edit those two different shows too. Like, what are we going to cut out? We cut a song out usually. Remember that? So
yeah, you work 11, 12 hours to get a 30-minute show, and that's just that part. Then you have the editing and all that to go with it, and a lot of hours, but it was worth it. I mean, we had a good responses from a lot of people.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
I played Cousin Dud on the show and other characters. I was Buckshot and.
I forgot about that character. That was the character you did. It was a Western character, cowboy.
Yeah. Now, was that character when we did Roy Rogers' show, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did 3 shows with Roy Rogers Jr.
Jr., yes.
And his son, Dustin.
Yeah.
Also, and we even had an episode where we actually had Roy Rogers, one of his songs on the episode.
Right.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, and that was very kind of them to let us do that.
Yeah,
so,
very much. Yeah. And then Cousin Kenny remember Cousin Kenny?
Oh, yeah.
Gordon, he always watched that, and then tears just come down his eyes. He was such a cowboy, know. He said, I can't believe I'm part of something like this.
We all couldn't believe it. No. I mean, we just some home folks with an idea and went with it, and the Lord blessed us, and it took off, and touched a lot of folks. And
well, I would ask you a question about how you got on the show. However, Cousin Dud and you were real close, and so he already answered that. It's on another show, so we won't ask that this time. But did you ever think that you would do something like this in your life? That show? Yeah,
I never even thought about doing entertainment, until it was presented.
Yeah.
I sung on the show too. Did backup singing, which
you
backed you up a lot.
Backed me up a lot. We had that Buck Owens. I didn't sound like Buck, but you sounded a lot like what was that guy's name? Trent? No, not Buck Trent. That's the banjo player. The other guy.
I don't remember his name either.
Oh, I know his name. Can't think of it. But anyway, you had that high-pitched voice like that, and it made me sound good. So I'm like, I like that. So,
it takes a team.
Well, you know.
But and the singing part, I was the type of person that I wasn't going to stand in front of anybody and do anything. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
Right.
Well, one day I was in the studio, and I believe I was back over here in the corner, and music was going, and I was singing harmonies to it. And Kathy, our producer,
Kathy.
all of a sudden I hear her voice behind me, and it's like, oh my gosh, he can sing. And I was like, uh-oh, what have I done now, And finally talked me into singing back up on the show, which I thought, I can do that. There's just a handful of people here, and I can handle that.
In the early days, it wasn't but a handful.
Right.
We'd have maybe 10 people at the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's with crew and cast, maybe 12. But everybody was friends, and it was just sort of. And nobody knew what they were doing that first season.
We didn't.
You remember, somebody would come up and tell a joke to another person, and then they'd just walk off. And there's nothing on the camera now. It's like, what are you doing? Get back in there.
And we ended up with a cast of 50 or something like that?
Oh, no, it was way over. It was 100.
Was it?
Yeah, because yours truly made all the phone calls.
Of course, there were a few that were pretty much regulars, and then the others we would call from time to time.
We had what I would call the inner circle. That was Donnie Mae and Cousin Kenny and Lana and Daryl Ball and you and those guys. Amy Carter, who played Amy the Weather Girl.
Yeah,
that was what I would always call the inner circle, I guess. And then we had the Junction Girls like Emily Dowden Estes. We had
the Kramer sisters,
girls, and a bunch. I think we had 22 or 24 Country Junction girls all together. Kendra Briscoe and a bunch of those.
Oh yeah.
So then we had them, and then we had Big Joe Harrell that cast, and that was another cast outside of that. And then we had our guest, and they would come back, and so by the time you get done with that, there was well over 100 people part of that show on a regular basis, really. So
we had some good times.
It was a lot of good stuff. It was done right here in this studio. On people can't see it, but it's the wall over there and the wall back over here, and so And we did a lot of stuff, what we call Lot 1 and 2.
Yep.
And that was out here in the Butlers
outside,
in their fields, and we had the Butlers Pond down here.
Yeah.
And the Butlers Pond originally, Kathy and John owned the Southtown Sporting Goods store in Joplin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she wanted to sell crawdads, so she built that pond over here for crawdads, stocked it with thousands of crawdads. Then the Joplin tornado hit and took the store. So now she's like, what am I going to do with all these crawdads? So, but we kept the pond. And she said, we'll just keep that pond, and we called it Butler's Pond.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a popular little pond. We did a lot of stuff.
Sure did.
I remember one episode, we'll show a clip on that. You were running, you were super dead, and you were running around that. And I thought maybe you meant to do it, but I think you told me you didn't. And all of a sudden he trips.
Yeah,
he fell down.
I did. Yeah, I fell down, and it was an accident. But you was like, oh, that was good. And later on, you found out it was an accident.
You dislocated your knee, and I thought it was a good shot. So. Now, and talking about that, Alana Ball, who played Joanne Hatfield, she was having knee problems in here, and that was before we put the carpet in here, and it was just a solid
tile floor or whatever.
Yeah, it may have been the tile at first. It wasn't nothing but cement. Concrete. So when Miss Leona Williams and them started in that first season, I mean, we all was singing on concrete. It looked, and hay was all around and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, Atlanta had this knee was bothering her real bad. Said it'd been hurting for a long time. She did a little sketch, and she jumped up and she ran off the camera. When she did, she tripped and fell down. And so when everybody was done, we cut. She goes, "My knee feels wonderful." She said, "Whatever I did when I hit, it popped it back in place."
Yeah, I remember that.
This show is a miracle show.
Yeah. One of those things that you don't expect to happen, and it does. So,
yeah. Well, we had a lot of fun, and I'm glad you became part of it.
Me too. Me too.
We're going to go to a message here, commercial sponsors here in just a little bit. and then we're going to come back, and I want you to talk a little bit more about Frank Howell, and who
Sure.
you are, and kind of where we met and how this all got started. But then maybe your personal testimony of what
Sure.
things that you did.
Sure, you
So,
bet.
we still got just a little bit of time though.
The music was always. I grew up in music, like you did.
Yes.
And so me, the acting was fun. We had good times, but I always loved the music.
Yeah.
And we had some great special guests. I mean, we just some great people.
We did.
And these people were superstars, at one time, but they were just as down to earth, easygoing, laid back people.
We had some really nice people drop by. There was Barbara Fairchild and Roy Morris, which is her husband.
Right.
And then we had from the Porter Wagoner show, we had Pretty Miss Norma Jean.
Pretty Miss Norma Jean.
Sweet lady.
Yep.
And then we had Miss Leona Williams got on board with us from day one.
Day one,
So,
yeah.
And Rodney Lay and Vernon Sandusky from Hee Haw. Terry Wayne Sanders did the last year of Hee Haw.
Yeah, he did.
So I told Terry, I said, "You mean you shut her down, did you?" He said, "Yeah, I did 1 year and it shut down." So I'm like, but at least he got there. I always wanted to do Hee Haw.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get Roy Clark on the show, but we just was always this far from getting the schedule together to have Roy on. So,
well, we had a Confederate Railroad on too.
Yes, that's right. We did have.
And those guys were just spectacular.
They said, "Do you want us to do just acoustic, or do you want us to bring the whole band in?" That bus was huge.
Oh my!
And we're like, "I don't know if you bring the whole band in. I'm not sure we're going to put that whole band." So they did an acoustic, some songs, and did great.
Did a great job.
We're going to go to a message, and for these folks, so we'll be right back with Frank Howell and more on the life and times of Frank Howell on Spotlight on the Ozarks.
I'm Tom Carter with Ozarks Public Television, inviting you to watch Ozarks Watch Video Magazine. Now, don't confuse me with Kelly James and his program, Spotlight on the Ozarks. We look nothing alike. We are no way alike. Now, let me invite you to watch Ozarks Watch Video Magazine now in our 20th season. You can watch it on Ozarks Public Television Sundays at 1:30 and 2, and Thursdays at 9 and 9:30. That's on Ozarks Public Television. Or visit our website. You can see any of the episodes anytime at www.optv.org.
Cousin Doug, what is your idea?
Well, I think this here's a job for Super Doug.
And we're back with Spotlight on the Ozarks. And my guest today is Frank Howell. And we were just visiting a little bit about the show that we did together, which was Kelly's Country Junction, shown here on this station. And man, someday we may go somewhere where the show ain't shown, or isn't shown. Boy, I just talked like an Arkansas here, didn't I?
Still in character.
Yes, I am. But Frank, I want you to tell a little bit about yourself, really about yourself, apart from the show, had nothing to do with that. But you go to church, and so tell us how you got kind of in the church you're at. And I guess, again, probably the singing started from the show and spilled over to the church.
Yeah. Like I said before, I was in the corner and singing harmonies to music.
He was in the corner. I've been in the corner a few times.
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
Okay.
It was a good time, though. It wasn't time out.
Right, okay, there you go.
And the producer came behind me, and she heard me, and she was like, "Oh, my gosh, you can sing." Well, it took a while because I was the type that wasn't going to stand in front of anybody and do anything. I'm just not going to do it.
You still won't sing a solo.
I still don't sing solo. I sing backup harmonies, and I'll do a line once in a while, but that's about it.
We did that, what do you call it, a quartet?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, I know what you're. Woo!
I can't think of that.
Yeah, well, it'll come to us in a little bit.
Okay, yeah, so go ahead. and
But,
tell your story.
but anyway, they finally talked me into singing on the show, singing backup. So I thought, well, there's just a few people here. The doors are shut. I said I can do that. So I did. Amy and I did a lot of backup with you.
Right.
And then they decided one day that, oh, you need to be singing in church. And that was a whole different ballgame for me. I was like, I am not standing in front of people, and I'm not doing that.
That's where we all met, was church.
Yeah, we met through church.
yeah.
That's how I got on the show and all that. And but I was scared to death. I was petrified.
Scared to life.
I was scared to life. There you go. Let's be positive.
Yes.
And I was like, I am not standing in front of people doing it. I'm not doing it.
I remember how nervous you were when you first started on the shows, and you'd be like, you almost got sick at your stomach before we start rolling.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I did that as a kid growing up before I played Little League. I'd puke before every game. The nerves would just.
man, bless your heart. Yeah.
But anyway.
I used to puke after.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost.
Sorry about you.
Yeah, Frank, I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell your story. I'm going to be quiet now.
Well, anyway.
I get one, I run with it, boy. I melt
Well,
the
you got
floor.
to.
Yeah.
I mean.
Okay. I think the director's telling me to shut up, or they're going to clamp my mouth. So go ahead.
Well, anyway, I think it took about 5 months before I actually sung in church. And what the turning point was, I got to thinking about it one day, and I don't remember if I was praying or what, but it just hit me, like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of one day I'm going to stand before God.
Yeah.
And He's going to say, I gave you talent. I opened these doors. Why didn't you use it?
Yeah.
And that hit me so hard.
Wow. I understand. Anybody that watches it knows, they know what you're talking about and how that.
Yeah.
It's one of those God moments.
It
It's one
was.
of them anointed moments from the Lord, and it's just something that you can't really. It's hard to explain.
It was. But, it hit me so hard. It was at that point that I said, God, I don't care how scared I get. I don't care what people think. If you open the door, then I'm going to walk through it.
Wow.
And you know as well as I do, the first time I sung in church, I was like this.
I remember.
I was so
Kathy-
scared.
I told Kathy, I said, man, that boy was shaking. He was so scared.
I was, but I told God, I don't care how scared I get, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, look what Christ did for me.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Who am I to say I'm not going to sing?
Yeah.
That's just, and there may be people out there that have that fear.
Sure.
Fear's a liar.
It is. Sang about that today in church.
Sung about it today in church.
Yeah, that song that's going out now. Fear, you're a liar.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that was the turning point. And, it was funny because after we got done singing, this lady come down to me, and she said, you did a good job. And I said, well, thank you. I said, but I was scared to death. She goes, I know. I seen the microphone shaking. And I thought, boy, that's a real booster for you.
Yeah, really.
But, it really did. That was what really turned me. I went to church for a long time. But when you feel like God's talking to you personally, and you take that to heart, you need to move on that.
You do.
Because, life is short. And because of what I'm doing, if it will touch one person, I always pray before we sing that they see Jesus. They don't see me.
That's good.
And they hear what they need to hear. They don't hear what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I do that every service.
Yeah.
Even in entertainment, when we go before just entertaining
An
people,
audience,
it's the same thing. I do the same thing there. Help me to be the best I can be, and let it just touch one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that's what the entertainment is for. It's not, look at me, how good I am, look what I can do. It's, how can I touch someone to help them maybe through a tough spot, or put a smile on their face for even if it's for a minute,
It is. Yeah, I think people lose that. They get thinking, well, it's all about me.
Yeah.
Even in secular music, and they don't understand, well, without God and without the talent that He gave you, you wouldn't be anything. And
Right.
then without the people who watch you and buy your CDs and all, you still wouldn't be anything.
Right.
So it just baffles me as anybody gets so high, actors or anybody, to think, boy, I'm it and I don't need anybody else.
Right.
That'd be a bad place to get.
It would be.
So,
And even when if we're doing the entertaining part of the business and not the praise team at church,
right.
I still give God the glory.
Sure.
If someone comes up and you did, they want to, you did good or whatever, you
Yeah.
say, well, the Lord's been good to me. It ain't about Frank.
No.
It's
and
much bigger than Frank.
Oh, much, yeah. So,
I'm just blessed that He uses me as a vessel, but like I said, it was hard for me to do that.
yeah.
you
You're
know.
seasoned now. 'Cause, boy, I mean, you get up there and you're just a singing and
Oh,
you're
I still
into
get
it.
nervous.
Yeah, but I'm saying you've come a long way, and if the crowd's not doing what they need to do, you get right in their eyes, just saying, "Hey, come on now,"
Yeah.
and you start clapping.
Wake up!
Yeah. I've always said that when anytime I lead worship, it's different from whenever I'm doing a TV show. Or I mean, if it's secular, like we're doing country music, whatever.
Sure.
That is, God gave me the talent, so I'm sharing it with people.
Right. Right.
But when you do worship music, it doesn't have anything to do about your talent. It has one purpose and one purpose only. That's to direct these folks to this God.
That's right.
And has nothing to do with your talent.
We're
praise
just-
about God, and that's it.
We're just the
So-
vessel that He's working through.
Yeah, and I see that whenever you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I think that you pray before you go on. You
Yeah.
say, Lord, just let the people see you and me, and not see me because. Well,
If
they don't
they
want
see me, it's going to get goofed up.
Yeah, I was going to say they don't
Yeah.
want to see me because it's just
Yeah.
be a mess. So, but
But God has blessed me through that. I've been a casting director for movies. I done a movie in Branson called Booney Wooney.
Yeah.
I worked with Terry Wayne Sanders down there. We did a thing at the IMAX.
yeah,
And God is still blessing. The praise team at church is singing out.
uh-huh.
You've put a band together that allowed me to be in, and we're doing entertaining with that. And
yeah.
so God has blessed me, and like I said, He opens the door. I'm walking through it.
That's,
So
yeah. Always be doing.
Yeah.
As long as we're able, I think we need to be doing. No matter how old you get, you never get so old that you stop doing.
right,
Right. Always be doing something for God.
Yes.
And then when you do stand before Him, like you said a while ago, He's going to say, "You wasted that talent. I gave
Yeah.
you this, I gave you that, and you didn't do anything with it." So,
and
that's a good testimony. I like that.
And I want to encourage folks out there. If they're in that situation where they're in limbo, they know they should do it, but they're scared to.
Yeah.
Do it. Just do it, because once you do it, God will give you the ability to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And you might be scared. You're human. You might shake, but
Yeah.
you work through it. If I can do it, you can do it.
If you're able to do something on your own ability, it's already something you can do, then you're like, well, I don't really need any. I can do this,
Mhm.
But usually God will stretch you to the place where you're like, no, Lord, without you, I can't do this.
Right. Oh yeah, you'll grow. I mean,
yeah.
and there'll be times that you got use your faith. I mean, you'll need it. And,
Always, yeah.
But always know He's there. He's beside you 100%. He's not going to set you up to fail. He's going to set you up to succeed.
Yeah. God doesn't set you up for failure.
Right.
So I don't know if anybody believes that, but it's not right. And like Frank said, if I believe that you're speaking to a lot of people out there, and they're sitting there going, okay, this must be the time I need to go.
Yeah.
That's God's way, using you to talk to these folks, saying, this is your moment, this is your time. This is where you need to get up and let's go.
That's it.
And that's what you did.
Now's the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is short.
That's that. It is too. So,
Yeah.
well, speaking of time, we got to go to commercial. That's how short that is for us. But we'll come back with a wrap up with you, Frank Howell, and so we will. Okay, we got 1 minute. We got a whole minute, Frank.
A whole minute.
Let's
Well.
dance.
That ain't gonna work. We don't want people to go. We want them to stay.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, I'll take it.
But anyway, I want to encourage you folks that step out in faith, because you don't want to know what a blessing you're missing by not doing that.
Or who you might bless.
Exactly. And I was one of those folks, and now when it's time to sing, I still get nervous, but I can't wait. It's just it's one of those things that you're called to do.
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh man, I can't wait to do it again.
Becomes part of you.
Yeah, even practice. I mean, I look forward to that even. So
okay, some of the best stuff is practice. So we have fun.
Yep.
We'll be back right after this message from these folks on Spotlight on the Ozarks with Frank Howell.
Here we are at JR's and we've got lots of boots. You want wild and crazy? Or we've got nice brown traditional boots for that good old cowboy. Come on in. You can not only find great Western wear at JR's, but you can find great CDs by Kelly Lee James. My best babe.
He's an old bronc rider, just an old bullfighter. Lord, I watched him. It's Fonzie. Hey, Fonz. Did you watch Kelly James in the 70s review show?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's Hey.
Hey.
And we're back on Spotlight on the Ozarks. Frank, it's been great having you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
I've enjoyed your testimony and everything that we've got to visit about, a little bit about Kelly's Country Junction and about your experience becoming a singer and really an actor, because kind of one led to the other, didn't it?
It did. It sure did. I have been very blessed and continue to be blessed. So I'm going to continue to, door opens, I'm walking through it. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, I want you on, do some more shows, and I'll be having you on. Like you said, we've got a band now.
Yep.
What we do, and so our people don't know this, but our cameraman today is the piano player.
Yep.
And our sound man just signed on is our drummer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got this little thing going on. We'll just play a little tune today for them, or not.
Well, we're not really set up for that, but
no. Well,
yeah.
look at the drummer.
Well,
the drummer.
What you need to do is we'll do another episode, and we'll just bring the band in and do some music.
We'll just play music.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be hippies in the Ozarks.
I don't know about that, but
well, I do a lot of folk music.
Yeah.
There's a banjo. I could even do it.
Yeah.
We'll see you later. Yeah.
It'll be good.
It's going to be good. Frank, good to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Right,
Appreciate it.
Frank Howell has been my guest today. He's a good friend of mine and great talent. You've been watching Spotlight on the Ozarks. I'm Kelly James Barker, your host, and we'll be back next week with more Spotlight on the Ozarks. Till then, we'll see you.